So, a very good afternoon to everyone. We've got a bit of noise on the line, but we'll clear that, I'm sure. My name's John Boulding. I'm the CMO of Vox. I've been about 40 years in the business in tour operating, a lot of time at Insight Vacations, and I'm sure I know many of you. In fact, I do know many of you because I've looked at the name list. I know many of you. It's great to have you on board and joining us for this very important webinar for your association. I'd like to introduce Massimo Primorano, who is the Managing Director of Vox in UK Ireland. Massimo.
Thank you, John. Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Massimo, and I'm the Managing Director of the UK office. I work in Vox since 2006, where I started in Rome, where I worked for 3 years, and then I moved to London to start up the business here in UK. So thank you very much to be here with us, and I'm sure you will love our new technology.
Great, thank you, Massimo. Now, at the end of this short presentation, the PowerPoint deck, what we'll do is have Massimo look at some of the questions that have come in and have been answered, but you too can ask questions if you wish. There's a questions box there, and you can pop questions in there, and if we've got time and we're able to, we'll answer them, but we'll certainly answer them in due course anyway for you and make sure that that is circulated to you. So what we're talking about really here is professional smartphone guiding for groups. And before I get into that, I just wanted to touch on the background to Vox so that you understand where we've come from. Vox is the world's leading provider of voice and multimedia interpretation for tourism and culture. And back in 1999, we were the very first company to introduce the concept of tour guide systems for tourism. And nowadays we've grown, and the business is 55 offices worldwide, serving 15 million travelers on 27 million audio tours. I know these are big numbers, but through 5,500 business partners. But we're not just in radio devices, of course. What we also do is develop intelligent tourism destination software for tourism and event businesses, but we've also got a very big division now building and supplying advanced smartphone guiding applications for guides and for operators in all sectors. And of course, we work with some very big companies. You know, this 20-odd years heritage is one of service and innovation. And we partner with many of the world's biggest tour operators, as well as famous institutions such as St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, Chenonceau Castle, Palace of Versailles, Mont Saint-Michel, Belfast Cathedral, the Castle of Bonaria, many, many more. Those are just to name a few. But let's turn to the story in hand today. And I think it's always worth looking back at Albert Einstein. I like the guy. I think he was great. And what he said was, we cannot expect things to change if we keep doing the same things. He said, a crisis is the greatest blessing for people and nations because a crisis brings progress. And indeed it does. I mean, what we've got to do is take all of this as just one giant opportunity. And we've got to think how forward-thinking people in tourism, guides, yourselves, us, all of us together, it's a family, can create opportunities out of what has just happened. So in the new dynamic, what we've got to do is consider how consumer needs, how their preferences and their priorities will shift. And we must understand what newly learned attitudes and behaviors will become habitual because they'll outlive this crisis. One of them is new interests. Now, you know, people have been sitting at home in lockdown trying to find things to do. And during that time, they've obviously looked at television documentaries, they've researched articles, they've learned how to cook or how to do it yourself or whatever it might be. So lots of new interests out there. They're then going to likely want anyway, to self-impose social distancing. No matter what governments are saying, people are not going to go around hugging everybody all of the time in new groups of people they haven't met. And they're going to be more wary of crowds, and they'll certainly be thinking carefully about how they conduct themselves. But I think what's in a way most important, certainly for this discussion, is that people have gained a huge boost to technical skills. We all have. We're sitting here doing Zoom, or in this case, GoToWebinar, or whatever it might be. Even older people and I'm one nowadays, are sitting at home and they're using technology, and they're using it for entertainment, for research, for information, for talking to the grandkids, for whatever purpose, but they're using it, and they're using it very, very extensively. So coming out of the crisis, they're going to be so much more ready to embrace digital services than they ever were before the crisis happened. But we've got challenges too, and those challenges in this, I don't want to say new normal, it's the new world, demand cooperation, demand groundwork, anticipation, and elasticity. And it's vital to acknowledge that the aspirational and behavioural preferences of consumers and the legislative horizon under which we'll all operate will have changed. The early market's going to be hyper competitive, and market share is going to be very, very critical. You know, all of us, I mean, not just big companies, but individually, we're going to need to get market share of business that's out there. And margins might be weaker because people will find it difficult to sell higher priced items in a situation where the recovery is happening, because for sure the airlines, the hotels, the commodity providers, whether it's car rental or whatever it is, are going to be dropping prices to try and attract people into their sector. So pricing is going to be a big point. And service providers are going to have to reorganize. The people you're dealing with every day are going to be restricting tourist flows, distancing, sanitizing, washing, security is going to be different, and education of visitors will be different. So all of this is going to change the whole approach, from the world's top tourist spots, from the Eiffel Tower to the Tower of London and the Colosseum to the Taj Mahal, who knows. And we've got to think about how groups will organize. Now, I know you're thinking about this already, of course. You know, the old idea of having a group huddled together so that you can sort of get to them without shouting too much is going to be forced to change. And the new world is sort of either using tour guide systems, which of course have all been sanitized. I mean, the way we're working now as Vox, and I'm not talking about tour guide systems as such here, radios or whatever, but I can tell you on that side, there's a massive sanitization program going on, and everything will be sanitized and sealed and completely dealt with. But whether it's that or whether it's smartphones, that is going to be the new norm, to use one form of technology or another. And of course, self-guiding, you know, people, there is a temptation that they can do that as well. So this is the horizon that we're seeing going forward into the new dynamic. So what we've got to do is plan to use smart digital services effectively. And if you can do this, then you're going to become more flexible. You'll be able to overcome hurdles that are out there. You'll get more in control as well. You'll be more personally in control of what's going on, and you'll be able to increase your margin perhaps on your charges ultimately. Certainly, because this technology is a lot cheaper than radio devices, so you will increase margins if you can maintain your prices at all. And it will permanently change the game in your favor. And I think that's the important thing that's coming out of this at the moment. So let me introduce you to this technology, and I want to talk about Vox Connect and how it can connect you with your guests and do so very, very effectively indeed. So Vox Connect is actually the product of 5 years in-house development. This is not something we've just suddenly decided to do. We've been working on it for a very, very long time. Vox Connect is advanced technology, professional tour guiding technology. It's simple to use, however, and it's safe and it's secure. It's also got unlimited range potential, and I'll talk about that in a moment. We'll go specifically into that. But what's really important, I think, for you to know is that there's no tracking or logging of user data ever in this system. Nothing goes to our servers. We know nothing about you, apart from your account, of course, when you register with us, but we know nothing about you, your phone, or your guest phones. So everything is 100% GDPR compliant, and it's completely secure for you and your guests. So that's very important, I know, for you, and it was part of our fundamental approach from the beginning. Moreover, safety extends a little bit further, of course, because using personal devices and personal earphones ensures that group members can socially distance easily and safely. So that side of things is a very strong reason for bring your own technology, or bring your own device if you want to make it a little bit simpler. It's perfect timing to be doing all of this, and we have what I believe is really the very best guiding solution for the post-COVID situation. So how does it all work? Well, it's very simple, actually. within the app, there is a field where you enter your account credentials when you first join with Vox. And we can do that online. It's all very, very simple. You don't have to worry about that at the moment at all. So you register as an account. You can then create a 6-digit code for your guests on your tour. You enter that into your stream. It's called a stream. It's how you stream music, or voice or whatever it is you're streaming. You stream it from your phone, from the app, with 6 digits. You give those 6 digits to the guests, and they have a similar app on their phone, which is super light to download and very, very quick. They enter those 6 digits, and in 3 seconds, they can start to listen to your streaming. And this is very, very important. And you have a choice of connectivity. Now, the easiest, frankly, if you're in the UK and you're dealing with a group of British tourists or European tourists, they're all going to have roaming. So frankly, this is one of the simplest and best ways of connecting, because when you connect using digital data, you've got unlimited distance, and I'll show you an example of this in just a second. There is no limit. I mean, literally, you can go intercontinental if you wanted to. So you can connect with people very quickly with very low latency, and it's super simple. And the truth is today that even travelers from long distance overseas, Americans coming to Europe, or people from Asia or wherever coming to Europe, most people are going to have unlimited roaming arranged anyway. Frankly, they're more than happy to use data because they'll choose it by preference, because every time they want to use it for personal connections, talking on, Messenger or whatever, or WhatsApp to their family or kids. They use it for communication, they use it for entertainment, they use it for information, and it's cheap and it's easy and it's convenient. So data roaming isn't the bugbear that it used to be years ago. And let me tell you, it uses minimal data volume anyway. It's around 10 megabytes an hour, which is nothing. That's the size of a picture virtually that you take with your camera on a phone in size-wise. And data, that's very, very little. So like Spotify streaming music at 96 kilobytes per second, it's very, very low usage. Effectively, it's less than a phone call in terms of data usage, because it's only receiving. They're only getting voice. They're not transmitting their voice back to you. So it's a very, very good form. However, there are situations where that might not be suitable. You might have a group of 8-year-olds, or you might have a situation where there's no 4G data around, or whatever it might be. And so Wi-Fi connectivity is the perfect option. And that requires no roaming, no data, no internet. It just requires a closed circuit set of users around a server, a Wi-Fi server. So it's very, very simple. And that, again, has very low latency. Now, latency is a technical term, but all it means is lip syncing, basically. We work at 100 milliseconds, which sounds a lot if you say 100, but it's a millisecond, so which is 1,000th of a second. So it's 1/10 of a second for the voice to transmit from you to your guests. So they cannot even see, it's imperceptible to see the difference between hearing the voice and seeing your lips move. It's amazing technology, it really is. So to make Wi-Fi work, we've got a fully built, lightweight, complete unit. Very light. It's very light. It's very small. It's compact. No bigger than an iPad mini, really. Just a little bit thicker, of course, than an iPad mini, but around about that size. And it's fully portable. It's a Wi-Fi system called VoxBox, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But it's a great way of providing this alternate connection solution. But we're also future-proofed. You know, Bluetooth is something that people think a lot about, and today, Bluetooth is just not up to this type of transmission, because Bluetooth has very short range, and Bluetooth is not powerful. It's good for earphones or to your phone, or for perhaps your phone controlling music via a little speaker or something like that. But it's really not suitable for this type of technology, because it's got very small range, and it's also not able to connect many devices at once. There are ways of doing it by Bluetooth, but you need to daisy chain. You need to connect one phone to another phone, to another phone, to another phone, to another phone. And this has a big problem, because every time you do that, you've got latency occurring. That's that lip syncing again. And the further and the more devices that are connected, the bigger gets the latency problem. Now, this will change, and I really don't want to get technical in this presentation, but there's a new Bluetooth capability coming very soon called Bluetooth 5.2. Now, this is super fast, long-range Bluetooth, and you can connect multiple devices, really almost almost unlimited devices to one phone and transmit over quite a good distance. But it's not here yet, and it's not going to get critical mass yet because it's not even on any mobile phones yet, and it's hardware, so it has to be built into a phone. So the future Samsungs and Apples and everything that will come out will have this, but it's going to be 3 years, in my estimation, even 4 years, before a random group together has got all that technology on all of their phones. And if it's not on all the phones, it's not going to work. So really, we're talking about the first two options that I mentioned, which is mobile data or Wi-Fi connectivity. We've got both. We're future-proof for the future. It's the perfect solution really going forward. Let's talk about range. So with Vox Connect, you've got fantastic range. If you're using mobile technology, unlike mobile network, unlike other technologies, you've got unlimited range and you can connect at any distance. So literally, if someone is sick and they're back sitting on the bus, or they're in their hotel, or if a wheelchair route is prohibitive, you can still connect them seamlessly to you and the group so that everybody can enjoy the same tour at the same time. It even works across countries or continents. So technically, if you gave your code, and of course it's secure to your code, but if you gave your code to somebody in another country, they could actually listen to you doing the tour at the same time as well. So that perhaps is an opportunity for the future. If ever you got into the business of internet guiding, where you wanted to do a tour, virtual tour, and of course videos coming ultimately as well, this is coming next year, we'll be able to video stream as well. So you could actually find business doing long distance tours, if you like. So, you know, this is pretty amazing technology. Using Vox portable Wi-Fi, the range is huge. It's 160 meters diameter around you, 80 meters radius. So there's no problem at all in connecting your group together with suitable distancing. And of course, again, being wireless technology, this is, you just give them the Wi-Fi code, the router code for your router, and that enables them to connect. And if they fall out of range and they come back in again, it just connects automatically. So all of this is automatic connection, all of it's super simple, and all of it is very, very effective. So apart from crystal clear communications, simple connectivity, the long range, and everything else I've mentioned so far, what other features can we get excited about? Well, let's talk about audio mixing technology. This is really interesting because normally, of course, you'll use your voice, and on the free demos we've got going, I'm sure that's what you'll do, you'll use your voice. But coming very shortly from September onwards, you'll be able to mix music with it, for example, and next year you'll be able to mix video. So you could actually, for example, if you're standing in front of a famous building where a composer has written some great work about that building, you could mix some of that music very lightly behind your voice as you're explaining to your group. So some pretty cool stuff. You don't have to do this, but I'm just saying, you know, this is where this capability is. You can conduct polls or answer questions for your group, and you can do instant messaging too. And if they need to get in touch with you to ask you a question, they can send a message to you with that question on it, and it's instant and it shows up on your phone, and you can answer that when you're ready. You don't have to answer straight away. You can answer when you're ready if you want to. And all of this can be switched on or switched off, so you can really use it how you like. And what's really important, and this isn't true with many of this type of apps in this type of technology, you can simultaneously use other apps. So you can use your camera, you can use WhatsApp, you can use mapping, etc. So can your guests, of course. They can do the same. They can take pictures while they're going around as well. And for you, if you need to show a voucher at a venue from your phone, you can still do that while you're talking through your phone. You can even check a script if you had to. If you're going to something you've never been to before and you need a script, you can read the script, and people just think you're talking to your phone, talking to them. You can use mapping if you wanted to find a destination or find a route as you're walking along. So all sorts of things like that are really possible. And it's a really exciting area. Now, there are huge savings on this technology over radio devices, as I said, between, I'd say, even 40 and 50%, depending on the length of time you're using devices for, either radios or the license for this device. And the prices are incredible. I mean, starting from 10 euros per day for unlimited groups. And that means that you could, for example, have a group in the morning at 9 o'clock, another one at 11, one in the afternoon at 3, one at 5, and then an evening tour. and using that same license for that same fee of 10 euros, you could actually be conducting all of those groups. And we operate on a group licensing basis rather than individuals. You know, we're very experienced in this area, as you know, and we know this is how it works. You know, you need to be able to quote a solid price for a group. That's your fee, that's the price. So you need a group price, and that's what we've done. And you can have a large group or a small group price, basically, and you can do it on a daily basis, do it on a monthly basis, do it on a long-term basis. It's entirely up to you how you go forward, and we've got tariffs and so on, which we'll share with you very shortly after this presentation. Now, let's talk very quickly about VoxBox. I just want to explain what this is so that you understand. This is Vox portable Wi-Fi, and what it does is uses Wi-Fi, the cloud if you like, to connect you to your guests' smartphones. They don't have to do this, as we've said several times. You can use the mobile internet instead, but if you want to use the Wi-Fi solution, then this is it. And VoxBox is a bespoke compact Wi-Fi control unit. It is used by you as a portable connectivity method for Vox Connect when you're not using the mobile network. And it doesn't require data, as I said, doesn't require internet, and it's fail-safe connectivity with high performance for a large group of concurrent users. I mean, you can use up to 60, 80 people on this same technology. So what's it got inside it and how does it work? Well, it's a very powerful little combination unit. It's got a 10 to 12 hour battery life in there, a battery with that life in it. It's got a central processing unit, which is basically a computer that's built into this, which does all the channel selections and all the recognition of the guests' codes and all that sort of thing. It's got a Wi-Fi router. It's got, which is the way that it transmits. It's got a channel selector. It's got audio control system, and it has a plug-in microphone that you can plug in and use that directly. You don't have to use your phone. Alternatively, you could connect to it wirelessly also using your phone and talk through your phone as you would with the other method. So you can use either method, plug in the mic or use your phone as you wish. And it sits in a lightweight shoulder bag and has USB charging. So it can be used very simply, charged all the time, and it's instantly muted if you want to use. Hit the button and it instantly mutes. As I said, it's smaller than an iPad, certainly only a tiny bit bigger really than an iPad mini, a bit thicker. And it's available for initial trials from September and then open use certainly by the end of the year, because it's in production. I mean, this is a physical piece of hardware, and it's in factory production right now. That's why there's a slightly longer delay than with the application technology of Vox Connect itself. And that will be available from €5 a day rental, although that's using the long rent, but there is an opportunity to buy it if someone really wanted to buy it and then have it as your own property. So where do we go from here? Well, I would like to throw this in because I think this is really cool. This is called Guide 360 Member Support, and basically we're giving you a one-stop shop. When you register for Vox Connect, and basically all you do is go and purchase your licenses online, so it's super simple. We give you lots of exclusivity, not only access for getting your license automatically, but also for membership of Vox 360, and that will give you special daily and long license rates for Vox Connect. It'll give you specialist guide mini seminars on this technology and other new technology that comes along. It'll give you all the updates to the app completely free, all the pipeline updates that are coming, all the video and everything that's coming with it in the future. You'll get all of that updated without any extra charge. You'll have portable Wi-Fi units, VoxBox, at special rates, and we have a help desk support 7 days a week. We're open 7 days a week. This is Vox we're talking about, and you can connect with us by telephone, online, and we'll be able to give you advice if you need it at any time during the working hours. Also, you'll get discounts on other products and services. So once you're registered, if you need radio devices, if you get that mythical 8-year-old group of 8-year-olds coming and you need urgently radio devices, you're an account holder with Vox now, and you'll get those devices delivered to you easily, simply, and at special rates. And then you've got the backup and the global logistics of Vox. Now, what have we got for you right now? Well, coming at the end of this month, on the 1st of July, we're launching with 1,500 Vox Connect demos for 2 months, completely free. You can use them for 2 months between the 1st of July and the 31st of August. After that, we start our normal charging program. You'll also get complimentary Guide 360 member support. And if you book your free trial, you'll get this happening. We'll communicate with you and tell you what's going on, give you the login codes and all of that, tell you how it all works. Don't worry about that before the end of this month. So you can book the free trial now at bizdevvoxtours.com. And I think that's really where I'd like to hand over to Massimo, because I know we got loads of questions. Massimo's got loads of answers, and I can probably help a little bit as well. So Massimo, if I bring you back on board and get you to make a kickoff with some of the questions you received earlier, and then we'll have a look at questions that are coming in now. How's that? Thank you.
Thank you very much, John, for your amazing explanation as usual. So yes, in the past 2 weeks, I received some questions from you, which I would like to share with you. So the first one is what kind of phone I need to use Box Connect. So any smartphone is fine. Regarding the operating system, the minimum requirements for Box Connect are iOS 11 or later version, or Android 5 or later version, which have been released back in 2017. So I'm pretty sure you already have this version downloaded into your smartphone. So the second one, is the free trial still available? Yes, it is. Free trial starts from the 1st of July. One more thing, from the 1st of July to the end of August, we are giving this 1,500 codes. But as the guild negotiated special rates for you, after demos, you will have your first month of usage free of charge, as promised. Then I have heard that Box Connect use up a lot of data and battery. Is it true? Not true at all. The data is about only 10 megabytes per hour. Look, usually phone tariffs go from 5 gigabytes to unlimited, so it's very low consumption. Instead, the battery consumption is much less than any other app like Skype or WhatsApp, because Box Connect doesn't have any GPS or doesn't have many functions. It's super simple to use and to manage. But what I usually suggest is if you feel more secure, you can bring a power bank with you during the day. Then how does the booking work? John just explained to you. So the booking can work as Box devices with less info. So you may send us your request to my operation team. We only require the starting and end date and the number of participants. Otherwise, we may also provide you a login and password for our booking system, our portal. You can add your bookings directly there by yourself, and then you receive code. Is the box transferable between tour guides? Yes, it is. You can, let's say, a group of you can hire one or two boxes. It can be, can be shared during the day or during the week. Do we have special rates as Bluetooth Guide? Yes. We do have special rates for Bluetooth Guide, which I believe Julie already shared with you. If not, you can just send an email to me and I'll send them to you. These rates are only, of course, for your private tours. So, for example, if the service for a tour operator, these rates won't be valid as we have different agreements with them. Of course, as for the Box devices. How does the guide pass the code over to the group? It is a simple 6-digit code. For example, ABC123, which the guy with you can tell the code by voice to your guest once you meet them. So for the moment, there isn't any QR code. Maybe in the future. Can my phone be the transmitter without a microphone? Yes, let's say you can speak to your group using your smartphone like this, but no one's gonna do it. So I suggest to use an external, microphone, or if you haven't, we can sell it to you. These are the main question I received in the past 2 weeks. I every day have a chat with let's say 50 official guides for the moment. So I believe many more will contact me soon. At the end of the month, I'm gonna send a free code for anyone that's registering this webinar, so you can. I know that you are not gonna work probably starting from July, but you can use this free code with your with your colleagues, with your friends at home. So please just test it, and then if you any issue, if you any feedback, you can contact me and we can have a chat about that. But so if a few of them told me, I'm not an high-tech person. Look, my first question was, do you use WhatsApp? Yes, I think 99% of you use WhatsApp. Vox Connect is more simple than WhatsApp. Got very few functions, super simple to use, take few seconds to download it and to share the code to your guest. Even if you have, let's say, a last minute group, to add a new booking into the software and receive a code, it takes 30 seconds. So you will see by yourself that how simple it is to use Vox Connect. That's it, John. I'm not sure if you have received any.
I think, yeah, there's a couple of other interesting questions that have come in, Massimo. There's one question here that says, is there an alternate way to listen to commentary without a smartphone? I'm thinking of families with kids who are old enough who want to listen but don't have their own phone, basically. One of the things I would just say is, of course, that this technology works on any Android or Apple platform. Providing that it has some way of connecting externally to the world. So, it's either got data if you've got a SIM card in it, or it's got Wi-Fi. So if you're using VoxBox, then you could actually connect to an iPad, for example, or to a Samsung tablet or whatever. So there is if the kids have got that, you could use that. But I had a question on another guide thing that we did earlier this week, and that was, should I carry a spare device? It might be an idea. I mean, it might suit you just to have one old iPhone or something in your pocket that has already got the app on it, so that if someone turns up and they've forgotten their phone, or somebody hasn't got one, you could say, well, look, I've got this, you're welcome to use this, if you wanted to. That's a possibility, I guess. So, but yeah, it'll work across any platform. And of course you can use splitters too. There's no reason why a family, a father and son or whatever, couldn't use an earphone splitter and listen to it that way. That's no problem at all, because there's no charge for the extra people using it in that sense. So but that's one thing. Anything on that, Massimo? I don't know. Let's have a look at some other questions. How heavy is VoxBox? That's a question. Just over a kilo. I mean, it's very, very light. It's lighter than a very small laptop, really. It's not heavy at all. Hearing aid wearers. Well, we have a lot of hearing aid wearers, don't we, Massimo, who use our radio systems, and they just use the over-ear earphone. And I think most people who have a hearing aid will be aware of what their own needs are for earphone type devices and might even carry it. But you could avail from Massimo, from our team in the UK. We could supply those, I guess, Massimo, couldn't we? Yeah, if you needed headphones of that type, we have access to.
Yeah, of course, the equipment for Vox device is still available. So it's earphones devices are still there. So anything you need, we can just send it to you quickly.
Yeah, a question about membership. There is no cost. There's no cost to membership. It's just the rate of using the devices. We give you membership. I mean, this is one of the advantages of Vox is our size and our ability to have businesses across the world, and we want to use that. It's just, this is new technology. It doesn't change Vox. We're still a business that works very closely with our partners and wants to assist our partners. If you're successful, we're successful. That's how we view everything. So yeah, membership's free, and if you need to call 7 days a week to ask us something, you're welcome to do so. There's no charge for that other than your call. And if you do it on WhatsApp, then it's not going to cost you anything, I guess.
Yeah, moreover, you ask for Vox devices as a the guild that they negotiated the lowest rate for you as a blue badge guide as for the box devices. And so those are only for your private tools. So please don't share them to, you know, to operators. So they will have different agreement for sure. They will have higher rates.
Guys, I think just looking through the questions, I think most of the things were actually answered during the presentation, but we'll certainly take this afterwards and just check to make sure we haven't missed anything. I can't say. I'm quickly scanning again. I'm sorry, I can't really. There's lots of questions on battery drainage and so on, but I think that's all been answered. It's a very low drainage. Yeah, it does use slightly more data for the guide it's transmitting, but I think you've already answered that, Massimo, haven't you?
What I suggest, of course, for you is better to have let's say a phone tariff that goes from 5 GB to unlimited data, because as you will use probably a Box Connect every day. So this is my suggestion.
Yeah, there is one last question I can see here. How much is it to buy the router outright? The normal price is 1,500 euros, which is about the same price. This is very high-tech equipment. This is about the same price as the latest model iPhones, so it's not that expensive actually. It would take you about a year's rental of it to get that equivalent. Otherwise, it's cheaper to rent, but that's approximately the price. I think we'd do a special deal for you guys because you're members of the. But Massimo can talk about that separately. Okay, Massimo, is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, nothing. If you have any more question, just send me an email to my email address, or anyway, at the end of the month, I'm gonna send you the free code, so you can test it with your at home with your friends, with your colleagues. You can meet a group of guides. You can have a free test with some of you together, and that's it. And then just we can do in touch again, and we can speak again about Box Connect.
Great. Okay, so again, from both of us, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a pleasure to see so many names on there that I actually know. So great to have you join us. Thank you everybody for joining us. This is the future. We're going into the future here, and it's a whole new world, and it's exciting. And you can be at the forefront of this by doing the step you've done, which is coming and listening to this type of opportunity, because it's the future. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much for your time.
Stay safe. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.